Okay, lads, so did the video of the 2019 60 marker. It's the one we did in class. So, trial balance would be Rigney, garage owner failed to agree. So again, just that's the important thing there, that he's a garage owner. So, any purchase or sales of cars is purchases, and any purchases or sales of anything else is whatever he's bought. So if he sells equipment, it's not sales, it's equipment. That would change. Um, anyway, we'll get going at it. So first one, Rigby's private car valued at 8,500 was presented to the business. This car was later sold to a debtor of the business for 9,400. The sale was treated as a cash sale, and this was the only entry made in the books in respect of this transaction. So we'll look at what he did, right? So step one is the sale had been treated as a cash sale. So it's the only thing that's happened. So it's sales and um, bank or cash, doesn't really matter which one you use. There's no balance sheet. So he has put it as a sale of 9,300 and 9,300. So that's what he's done. All right. So I'm going to undo what he's done. All right, and put it on the first side. And that gets everything back to zero. It's the easiest way all the time. It's supposed to undo what you've done. You're following the steps. All right, so start again then. So Rigby's private car was presented to the business. So he's given a car to the business. So that's capital. And it was 8,500. And because it's a car and he's going to resell it, it is purchases. Okay, because it's stock he's giving to the business. So if he given equipment, that would be equipment. If he given computers, that would be computers. But because it's a car and he's garage owner and he's selling it, it's a cash sale or it's a sale, then it has to be purchases of stock. And remember, purchases means purchases of stock for resale. So that's what he should have done. So for that one. And then what he should have done for the second part, he sold on credit to debtor the business for 9,300. So it would be debtors have gone up by 9,300 and sales would go up by 9,300. So in effect, you'll see this when you come to journalize with the sales account he'd done correctly. So this is going to balance at zero. So we journalize all that. So sales, as said, balances at zero because he'd done it correctly, really. The bank is 9,300 on the credit side. The capital is 8,500. Credit, purchases 8,500 debit. And debtors 9,300 debtors debit. So you'll see now that all of that balances. So there's no suspense on that. Okay, so that's our first one. That's our first one done. You just have to be careful with that to make sure you got everything in. So, all right, the second part then. The vehicles purchased on credit for 34,000 have been entered on the incorrect side of the creditor's account and debited as 4,300 to the machinery account. So, what have they done? Vehicles purchased on credit have been entered on the incorrect side of the creditor's account. So if you buy goods on credit, creditors go up. So on the credit side, they have put 34,000 on that side, and they've also put in 4,300 on the debit of the machinery account. So 4,300 onto the debit of the machinery account. So we have to undo those by putting them on that side and over on that side. So that gets you back to zero. What has happened? Vehicles purchased on credit, so it should be 34,000 on that side for creditors, and it should be purchases for 34,000 on the debit side there. Okay, so we'll journalize that. So there will be a suspense in this one. So we'll start with the creditors. Creditors is credit side of 68,000. Then you have machinery, credit side of 4300, and you've purchases for 34,000. Okay, and that's our second one done. So we'll just journalize that. Now, I just want you to bear with me for 1 second. Fucking boiler's gone mad here. Just want to try and switch it off. So just 1 second. All right. So the third one then. Oh, sorry, there will be suspense in that. So the suspense will be the difference between the two of them. So I think I got this wrong in class. So anyway, the debit side or credit side is bigger than the debit side. So it's going to be it'll be 68,000 plus 43 minus 34,000. Okay. So that will be a suspense of 38,300. Okay. All right. Third one is nice and easy. Sorry. This is 2019. The fourth one should be nice and easy anyway. It says an overdraft of 550 had been entered on the incorrect side of the nominal ledger, and then brought down to the other side of the, or brought down to the incorrect side of the nominal ledger and subsequently entered on the incorrect side of the balance sheet. So all that's telling you is that the bank overdraft is on the wrong side. So they put the bank overdraft should be on the credit side. They put it on the debit side. So we undo that and then do what they should have done, which is do the same thing. So that's 1110. So you've only got one in this. Bank overdraft 1110, and then you'll have suspense 1110. That's it, done. Okay, so all right, so number 4 then, a debtor who owed Rigney 2,600 sent a check for 2.5 in full settlement of a debt. So we've got our we see this all the time in tabular statements, so we'll just have a go at correcting this. So so the debtor sent a check for 2.5 in full settlement of debt, and however no entry is made in the books of the signing of the check and a subsequent closing of the debtor's account after receipt of first and final payment of 20 cents euro. Really, really important you treat these as two separate workings because they'll have an impact on each other. So first one is a debtor sent him a check and we're dishonoring it. So what we want to do is show what that looks like first of all. So what that looks like is debtors would have gone down by 2,600. Bank would have gone up by 2,500. So debit side, and then there would have been a discount of 100. So that's what it would have looked like. We would have given him a discount of 100. When that check bounces, all of that gets undone. as if the transaction never happened. So the bank overdraft or the bank goes down by 2,500, debtors goes back up by 2,600, and the discount is lost. Okay, so um, so we end up like that. Now I would journalize that immediately. All right. So in the journal, I've got debtors 2,600, bank 2,500, and discount disallowed for 100. Okay, and then I go to the second part. No entry was made in the books, which is, or the closing of the debtor's account after first and final payment of 20 cents in the euro. So you got the full debt is 2,600. You got 520 of it. So your bank goes up by 520. Your debtors goes down by 2,600. And then the balance isn't a discount, it's a bad debt written off. So the difference between the 2,600 and the 550 is 2,050 as an expense or a bad debt written off. Okay, so I would journalize that then as well. So debtors goes down by the full amount, bank overdraft, bank goes up by the 520, the amount you got, and the bad debt is the difference between the two. So debtors is going to be 2,600, bank going up by 520, and bad debt written off is 2070. Okay, and then you're sticking your being. Now you can see why it's important to keep those debtors separately. They balance out to zero, and there's marks for both of them. Last one then is advertising prepaid and rent due were not recorded in the books. So advertising prepaid is an asset. All right. So it's expenses prepaid are assets. So the 650 is an asset. Rent receivable due to to is the important word there. That means it's receivable. So rent receivable due is also an asset. You're due to get that money, 700. They weren't recorded in the books. Both of them would then go into your profit and loss as 650 and 700. So they're the two double entries. So both of them are gain. So advertising prepaid reduces advertising, so it increases your profit. Rent receivable due increases rent receivable, so that increases your profit. So both of them are pluses. So sorry, we don't have to do balance sheet, so I'll just get rid of that. So we've got rent for 650. Advertising prepaid for 650, rent receivable due for 700, and then profit and loss is 1350. Okay, and that's our journal done. Okay, so we're asked then to do the journalize the necessary corrections. We're not asked to do the suspense count. We're just asked to prepare a statement showing the correct net profit. Somewhere at the top, it'll give you the net profit in these questions. So it's 121,000. Remember what we're doing. Anything that will be trading profit and loss account that's credit side, we're adding on. Anything that's trading profit and loss account that's debit side, we're taking away. So we look for from the top. So I'm just going to bold the ones that are trading profit and loss. So purchases is 85. Bank capital, debtors are the balance sheet, creditors balance sheet, machinery's balance sheet, purchases is trading profit and loss account. Suspense, bank is balance sheet, suspense. Debtors is balance sheet, bank. Discount is profit and loss account. Bad debt written off is profit and loss account. And profit and loss account is profit and loss account. Okay, so they're the ones we're going with. So the only one that's credit is the profit and loss at the end of 1350. So we'll add that on. and we have to take away purchases from number 1, 85. We've got purchases from number 3, is it? Number 2 for 34,000. We've the discount disallowed of 100, and the 3 of those get taken away. That's 79,750 for our net profit. Okay, for a corrected net profit. So that's it done. Just the bit of theory at the bottom. So why do we prepare balance sheets? Well, you prepare balance sheets. Balance sheet basically is a check that everything you've done is everything that you've done is correct. Sorry, I'm just looking at the answer here. I made a mistake in it, but it looks it. The discount, I put in the wrong discount disallowed in. I put discount disallowed on that side, and it should have been on that side. Okay. It doesn't make a difference. There's no suspense, but we'll just add in. So we're going to have to take that from there and put it in over here. So that should have been 122,450. That should have been 42,500. I've also left out the bad debts. You can see that from here. Bad debts 2070. So I'll just stick that in. Sorry. So we'll just add those in and take away. That's 77,870. Okay, as our adjusted net profit. All right, so why to prepare a balance sheet? So you're preparing a balance sheet is the last check to check for accuracy in the double entry book keeping system before you prepare the accounts. Debit should always equal credits. You need to say that. Okay, so 3 errors that affect the balancing of a balance sheet: mathematical errors, posting to one side only, and entering different figures on the debit side than the credit side. So if you're supposed to enter 5,000 in purchases and creditors, and you put 5,000 in purchases and 500 in creditors, so those, you don't have to have the names for them. They're mathematical errors, posting errors, and entering the different numbers in different accounts. So we'll leave it at that. I'm going to try and get a few more of these done over the weekend. Let's do. All right.